The Liberals say there's going to be restraint in the budgets that's coming out this spring. Others say they don't know what the meaning of the word restraint is. Geoff Turner is a tax lawyer in Toronto. He's also a former Conservative candidate, wants to be another Conservative candidate in the next election, joins me right now. The budget, everybody's saying we have a huge debt. Some people are saying, like Liberals, saying, well, it doesn't matter, we're just going to keep on spending. What's your view?
Oh, well, we do have a huge debt.
There's no question about that.
No question about that, and it does matter. And it does matter if we continue to run deficits in our budget. Budgets should balance. They should not. They need to balance now in particular because we're in an inflationary period in our economy, and so continued deficits are stimulative, and that works in like opposite to monetary policy, which is restrictive in order to contain inflation. And not only
so is our inflation because we have such a big debt because the government, the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister say, oh, it's because of the war in Ukraine.
Well, there's a whole bunch of factors that contribute to inflation, but one of them is stimulative fiscal policy that the current government has been running for the past 7.5 years. And that's why the budget should balance in order to stop that fiscal stimulus. And it's also ramping up the debt interest costs. They're going to hit about over $40 billion in the next few years.
Okay, so there's a stat out in the last few days from Statistics Canada that 35% of Canadian households are having trouble just putting food on the table.
Absolutely. Affordability is a huge problem. Absolutely, because it's contributing to inflation, and that's what's contributing to the affordability crisis in the country.
So, aside from being an economist and a tax lawyer and other people watching this who may be professors, if you're the average person working, you should be concerned about the deficit.
Yeah, and not only that, but if you're a young person, there's an injustice here because we're bequeathing to the next generation this massive amount of debt that they'll have to service and eventually repay.
I remember when Brian Mulroney was first Prime Minister and the great Michael Wilson was Finance Minister, they tried to fix the debt and people went squirrely. And it was until Chrétien became Prime Minister and had really, really overcome our economy that anything could be done. Do we have to wait for the ceiling to fall, for the walls to fall in?
No, we absolutely better not wait until the ceiling falls.
Well, Trudeau will.
Well, we're going to elect Pierre Poilievre as our next prime minister, and then he will sell to the country the reasons why we need to get our finances under control.
You want to be a member of that government. What's the primary thing to sell to the country? Why to get the deficit under control?
Well, principally because it reduces our resilience, our financial resilience, and makes it more likely that a crisis is going to cause a real problem in Canada in our financial situation and force emergency measures like we had in the 1990s. We don't even want to go there.
So, if people are having trouble making ends meet right now, dummy up, because unless we deal with the deficit, it's going to get worse?
It will get worse unless we bring our budgets into balance. This next budget needs to balance. That's the measure of fiscal restraint.
Geoff Turner, thank you very much. 3 minutes. Thank you for contributing. We are almost out of the hole. People like the show, and we want to keep it on the air. So, press subscribe. Press PayPal. PayPal is really simply a credit card that you can pay with. And if you're writing a check or a letter, please put your address in because I will send a letter to everybody who contributes money. Subscribe, PayPal. Thank you.